Hello everyone and welcome to the Complete Sports Update, and this is the show where the latest and trending stories in the world of sports are brought to you. As you all know, my name is Abib Kuranga and our guest for today is James Agberibi. Together we shall be taking through the rounds as far as sporting stories in today's episode is concerned. Welcome to the show, James, and how are you doing today?
Thank you very much, Abib. It's a pleasure being on today's edition.
Absolutely. It always feels good to be back on the Complete Sports Update, most especially as the Flying Eagles of Nigeria claim that the bronze medal title at the Under 20 Africa Cup of Nations in Egypt. Right here on Complete Sports Update, we will review the performance of the team as well as evaluate the team ahead of the Under 20 FIFA World Cup in Chile. So, James, welcome back once more to the show. Let's talk about the Flying Eagles of Nigeria, who unfortunately lost to South Africa in the semi-final tie, and they eventually played the third place playoff against the host of the tournament, Egypt, which they eventually won via penalty shootout 4-1. So, what do you have to say about the Flying Eagles of Nigeria's performance in the just concluded tournament in Egypt?
Well, Abib, for me, I think the most, just like what we said in our previous editions, the most important thing is for the team to qualify for the World Cup, which they did, But yeah, having said that, you can't just wave away their performance. I mean, it was the team. They showed that they are a side that will struggle if they don't. They will struggle in front. They struggle in front of goal if they don't. If the coaching crew don't fix that, they're going to have a lot of problems at the World Cup, because at the World Cup they're going to meet quality sides, faster and far better than what you faced in Africa here. Teams that will take their chances if it comes.
Yeah.
So for me, the team did well. I think the thing that is just built on that they can contain sides, but they don't. Once they get to the attacking tour, they tend to just. I think, like, I don't know how to describe it. They just go blank. They hardly create chances. They don't create clear-cut scoring chances.
Yeah.
And you cannot win tournaments if you don't score goals. If
Absolutely.
you don't find that they're very strong side when it comes to defending. They know how to cut out teams, but I mean, after because they say the attack win you games, the defense win you tournaments.
Yeah.
But in this instance, I mean, the attack was left much to be desired. So for me, if I want to score them, I'll just score them slightly above average. So that's just it. Because right from the first game, a lot of people have been complaining about the team that they don't know how to score, they don't know how to create scoring chance, and that was what happened to them throughout the tournament. So it's a good thing that the most important team that they qualify for the World Cup, they have the opportunity. The coaching crew now, they have the opportunity to look at the team again, which means overhauling the team or even bringing in new. And I'm not saying you should just disband the team, but at least you're so glaring now that the team need help. They need more hand. They need more quality, especially in the attacking third. So on in law, like I said, above average. Let's just hope that all the mistakes, all the lapses that we saw, the coaching crew will now go back, sit down, and re-strategize, because the World Cup. I mean, you're going to meet tougher opponents.
Yeah, definitely we are going to miss out of our opponents in the next edition of the World Cup. So, you talk about the Flying Eagles.
Yeah.
Actually, they scored 4 goals in the tournament. That's relatively low, compared to the opposition that they actually played with. And, looking at that, with the World Cup coming up next, they are definitely they will definitely be playing against a tough opponents, opponents that are very, very very, very good in the attack and the like. So if you as a team, you are good in defense, but your attack is not that sharp, definitely it might come back to haunt you definitely. So let's go over to Europe and talk about one of Nigeria's shining lights in Victor Osimhen, who actually whose loan stint with Galatasaray actually ended, and the man actually won 2 titles with Galatasaray, the cup title as well as the league title, scoring 36 goals as well as providing 8 assists in 40 appearances. And something really surprising, or let me just say something thrilling, actually happened in the last home game for the Turkish Giants. involving the daughter of Osimhen,
Yeah.
announcing his name when he
When
scored
he
the goal,
scored,
and
yeah.
when he called the name, the fans actually chanted and
Yeah.
all of that, and they really wanted him to stay. So, what do you have to say about Victor Osimhen? Do you think he should sign a permanent contract with Galatasaray, or he should look elsewhere, and play for, one of the big ones in Europe's Big Five leagues?
Well, Abid, fine. We all know that the fans they really love him. They want him to stay, but as we all know, football is big business. We all know why Osimhen ended up in Galatasaray.
Yeah.
I don't think Galatasaray was his second choice. When he was, during the last summer transfer window.
Yeah.
But because no club came for him, and you don't just expect such a talent to just wither away like that. So that was why he ended up in Galatasaray. But the good thing, I think it was kind of a blessing in disguise for him because he gave him the platform to really show himself, and immediately top scorer, won the league, the double for them.
Yeah.
So I mean, he has warmed himself into the fans. They really love him. That's why you see all those banners and everything. They know how to bring the daughter to.
Yes.
They're just looking for different ways to just try and time down.
Absolutely.
But Napoli, like I said, this is big business.
Yeah.
Do you have the cash? Do you have the money to pay for him to stay? If they have the money, for maybe Napoli will want to, consider. But again, you still have to consider that the player too, they really want to stay
Yeah.
in Turkey. Is it Turkey that's the club that really, because a lot of fans are now, if I'm not mistaken, they are criticizing the fact that a lot of them don't. It's like there are fans who don't really buy into this Osimhen, Galatasaray exploit. They feel the Turkish Super League is a substandard league. That's the belief. They expect him to be playing in the likes of the Premier League, La Liga, So that's where they want him to take his trade. And I think for somebody like Osimhen, he still have a very big, one more big transfer in him. And with what they did in Galatasaray, I believe that move. I don't see him staying back in Galatasaray. Forget about what the fans are doing. Fine, we understand what they're doing, or everything, but I mean, this is big business. The Napoli is about the money,
Yeah.
and they know that Osimhen is their biggest asset, and who will not want to cash out?
Yeah, definitely.
So for me, fine, we want him to stay better, but I mean, we in Nigeria, we want our best players to play in the biggest league, so that we see them week in, week out. And he has done well for Galatasaray. He has cemented himself, So the window is just close by, and I mean, it's going to be a hectic transfer window.
Absolutely, it's going to be a hectic transfer window. We do wish Victor Osimhen the very best as far as his next career journey in football is concerned. So let's talk about the Premier League. Well, all positions have actually been sealed, apart from one, which is the top four race. The top five race now because of one spot extra for Premier League clubs. So let's talk about the teams that are battling for the remaining spots.
Yeah.
Two spots have actually been sealed. Liverpool, the champions, as well as Arsenal are being confirmed as runners-up right there. So with Manchester City, Chelsea, Newcastle United, Aston Villa, as well as Nottingham Forest, just 1 point separates these sides. So with just one match remaining, even though Manchester City still have a game in hand to play against Bournemouth later in the week before the final game of the season. So how do you see the top five race panning out come the end of the season?
I mean, we all know that the Premier League is a very unpredictable league. You don't know what to expect, and it's very exciting because even unlike other leagues where everything will just wrap up everything and everybody just go. But one thing about the Premier League is, even if you already know who will win, that battle for who will finish in Champions League qualification, relegation battle. There's always something to fight for, and this season is the top five. The first, just like what you said, the top Liverpool, they've sealed the league. Arsenal have cemented second spot. So what we are looking out for now is who will join these teams in the Champions League. And don't forget, Manchester United Spurs are still there.
Yes.
So one of them is definitely going to qualify for the Champions League.
Yeah.
So I mean, it brings the excitement. You know that going to the last day. I mean, you have Nottingham Forest hosting Chelsea. These are two teams who are battling to get into the Champions League.
Yeah.
Chelsea have the Europa Conference League, but I don't think that's something that they really. If they win it, for me, it's going to be like a bonus. But I don't think that's where their target is. Their target is to qualify for the Champions League. Nottingham Forest, they've huffed and puffed. They at some point I think they were second on the table, but now they are outside. But they still have a slight chance. The good thing is they won their last game against West Ham, so that kind of breathed life into race for qualification. Manchester City too is not even done and dusted for them. They
Yeah.
just have to. They have 2 games, because of the FA Cup they played. So, Abib, it will be so difficult. This team will qualify. You never can tell. So I'll just keep my fingers crossed. Wait till the final day because I know that they're going to be shocked. They're going to be because there's a lot to play for.
Yeah.
So nothing has been determined. So let us see what will happen. But I assure you, we're going to see surprises that day.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to see surprises at the end of the season as regards to the top 5 race. But, well, if you ask me, I think Newcastle United and Manchester City will pick the other two. But the one spot that will remain for Chelsea, Newcastle, Chelsea, Northern Forest, as well as Aston Villa, I don't know who is going to pick up. But definitely, I still hope that one of these sides will eventually get that ticket to play the UEFA Champions League next season. So, James, thank you very much for the wonderful and insightful analysis, as always, on Complete Sports Update.
Thank you very much, Amin.
Yes, viewers, this is where we'll be ending things as far as our proceedings is concerned on today's episode. Do take care of yourselves and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.